I don't want to spend on a nice box just to try this out. I don't want to wait for shipping. I have to wait for shipping. I haven't found just the right box for me. And financial concerns are just some of the reasons one might want to explore local or cheaper options to a Japanese-style bento box. We've all been there, so let's look at what qualities to look for in a non-standard bento box that might make it your new bento box. A list will be in the comments and at the end of the video. Hello and welcome, my name is Willow and this is You Need a Bento. Here we discuss all things bento related, from recipes to reviews, tips, and even some history. Consider subscribing if that's something you're into. Today we're exploring budget bento boxes. All the images are from a time when our lockdown was lifted. I am not encouraging you to go out and do anything if your lockdown is still in effect. These are also all from either Dollarama or Dollar Tree. In this first image, I'm looking at a Betty Crocker sandwich container. This one is way too shallow, but the locking lid is a definite plus. When you have no strap, you're going to want a way to secure the lid, as most don't stay on super well. A locking lid is definitely on the list of things to look for. In this second image, look at the difference in height. This will be sufficient to not squish your foods. You don't want all your hard work to be ruined. Both of these containers are way more generous in volume than I would choose, but your needs might differ. Generally, containers marked as sandwich containers will have way too big of a base and end up just being too big. The volume is important, but equally important is how it's distributed. Here's another container with my thumb for scale on the depth. I would usually look for something that's around 3/4 of the height of my thumb and with a non-recessed lid, which is the lid that sits down in instead of pops up over top. The recessed lid helps with the seal but lessens the height inside the container, so it can be a bit misleading for our purposes. This container is 625 milliliters and is one I have used for a picnic bento in a pinch. One for rice, one for protein and vegetable dishes. The height is sufficient for rice balls, meatballs, whatever it is you're putting in. The volume is a bit much for me and my kids, but my partner would be fine with it. This is the container I would choose if I had to choose a container. I actually purchased this one to show a budget bento later on in the channel. It's a bit tall, but the size at the base is quite reasonable, I think. The lid has a great lock and gasket, so saucy dishes shouldn't leak if that's something you need, though remember, most containers are not truly leak-proof. Honorable mention is this little guy I found. The seal wasn't amazing, and I suspect the stitching that holds the fork and spoon in place will become an issue, but if you're careful and it's short-term, it may work for your needs. So the list of things that we're looking for in a container is 1. No recessed lids. They tend to squish things. 2 is a clip lock to hold your container closed securely. 3 is a rectangular footprint for your container. The big square ones are fine, but I find decorating these sandwich style square containers can just be a bit hard. And the volume, for me, I usually go for somewhere between 500 and 700 milliliters, depending on your needs. You may need more, you may need less, but play around with it and see what works for you, remembering lunch is only 1/3 of your calories. So there you go, my budget bento buying guide. I hope this helps if you're in need of a budget bento box. Consider liking this video if this was helpful for you. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.